And we go to do, I don't remember if it was a final walkthrough or if we were just doing a walkthrough for some reason.
Oh boy.
And it was very close to closing. And the seller was there again.
Not have moved a thing.
Nothing.
Was she supposed to?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Nothing had been moved.
In fact, there was more junk everywhere.
Well, and she told us, what do you mean we're closing escrow? What do you mean I'm selling this? I told my agent I didn't want to sell the house. She signed. She's like, I didn't know what price I was even selling the house for.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalewski here with
Cameron Barbier.
Today, we have John Selby with us.
How's it going?
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So John is an agent with our very own brokerage Compass with the Selby Team. Shout out to your mom. Hi, Joni. We love you. John has been in the business for 12 years. Don't look a day over 2 years. Sells all over San Diego County. And fun fact, John and I just closed a deal together last month.
We did.
Congrats.
Bit of a doozy.
And we're not talking about it here, so that's good.
I mean, we might. You never know.
Didn't
Anyway.
make the cut. It wasn't that crazy.
It wasn't. It was just stressful on my end. And then I wasn't really telling him everything. And then I was like, wait till I tell you what's been really going on. Because I sent you a text or something and you're like, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, because I was, okay, anyway, we'll get into it. John, welcome to Behind the Lockbox.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy
thank
to
you
be
for
here.
being here. Okay. So when you walked in, you were like, I've got a couple stories. And then as we were sitting here talking, you literally like thought of another one. So where do you want to start?
Might be wherever it's your
a-
show, wherever.
You
Yeah.
have a banger? Okay. So give us that one.
So a couple years ago, I want to say maybe 3 or 4.
Okay.
I was
Probably
working,
just before COVID.
no, it was during.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right
it
after
was like,
it started.
I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021,
Sure.
somewhere in that range, but
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Pretty much.
Had some buyer clients of mine, family friend referral
Okay.
type scenario, and looking all over and finally found like the house, which I was kind of going like, okay, you guys want this place? It was like hoarder status in the house.
You're like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
No, it was one of those where you're
the
like,
place.
you ask them several times, like, you guys want this one, this house,
Are
not
you
Not
sure?
the other one is on here.
It stinks and has a pathway through it. Are you sure? They're like, yeah. The house is falling down. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we get there. They get a great deal. I mean, they bought it. They got a house for $740,000. Actually, I think by the end it was done. It was like $715,000
In San Diego?
I know.
Where?
On 3 acres.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, where?
Like Escondido, San Marcos border.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
You can get some decent land out there.
But not for
700,
$700,000
no.
anymore.
Today,
Even a hoarder house.
that house today would be 1.5 or 2. And you're like,
Yeah.
or even more. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, one of those scenarios, the seller showed us through the whole house, you
Oh, I
know,
love that.
really sweet lady.
Did she show you all of her prized possessions?
Luckily, no.
Okay.
But she did follow us around that and the 3 acres and
She thought you might take something.
everything. Who knows?
Probably.
So if that wasn't red flags enough, you know, we continued to go
boy.
forward with the
The hoarding,
transaction.
the seller that followed us everywhere.
Yeah.
But we just kept going into it. So
We kept going.
It was fine.
You know, clients wanted to write an offer. So write an offer, get it accepted, get into escrow, and start kind of realizing the seller's situation, not getting very much communication from the other side. So
Wait, is
So
it a FISBO or is
it
it?
Yeah.
wasn't. No,
Oh,
there
okay.
was an agent on the other side.
Okay.
Okay.
There was an agent on the other side.
Maybe not.
That's not doing their job.
And yeah, so, you know, every time we're there, seller's there, inspection seller's there, you know, always the seller's there.
Did she have lots of pets?
Oh, yes. Birds, dogs, cats,
Oh, God.
rats.
Oh,
They weren't her pets, but they basically were her
What?
pets.
maybe they were. She was probably feeding them. So
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Anyway.
No,
Yeah.
knowingly, but
Yeah.
She's like, these are my mice. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Kind of. So get into escrow, we do inspections, we do all that normal stuff and negotiate stuff. And it was like, I think my clients had removed all contingencies finally, and we had agreed on a credit reduction.
Okay.
All signed on paper.
Okay.
And we go to do, I don't remember if it was a final walkthrough or if we were just doing a walkthrough for some reason.
Oh, boy.
And it was very close to closing. And the seller was there again.
Not have moved a thing.
Nothing.
Was she supposed to?
Oh yes. Nothing had been moved.
In fact, there was more junk everywhere.
Well, and she
Didn't
told us, what do you mean we're closing escrow? What do you mean I'm selling this? I told my agent I didn't want to sell the house. She signed. She's like, I didn't know what price I was even selling the house for. And the agent actually had called us after that going, she wants to cancel, blah, blah, blah. We're like, no, we have
for
signed agreements.
Anyone who doesn't know how that works, a seller can't just cancel.
Right.
Like the buyer is in control unless the buyer doesn't perform. Then of course you can do notice to perform or whatever. But like the seller can't just be like, change my mind.
Right.
Like once they accept, they're in it until the buyer walks
Correct.
out or does not perform.
Right.
So she's acting
I mean,
not competent.
Yeah, like
kind of like, not necessarily like I'm incompetent, I have no idea, but
Right.
more like
I changed my mind.
I kind of changed my mind and I can't really buy something and I don't really want to do this and I haven't moved and I can't move my stuff fast enough. And so we're all going like, okay, trying to get a hold of the agent, can't really like get any communication from that front. Eventually, my clients and I go and talk to the seller ourselves.
Well, yeah,
and just say,
because if
hey,
you're
like,
not, right, what can we work out here?
we're buying this house. Like,
Right.
they're like,
Yeah,
we're
you
buying
guys
this
were,
house.
like inspection, like all
We're
the
through
times
it
you've
all.
been
I mean,
there. Like,
So
how
he-
did she know?
They've
So
got
sorry.
a loan approved, like
Did
ready
you
to
say
close.
all contingencies
Yeah.
have been removed?
I'm pretty sure it was the final walkthrough. It was somewhere like very close to that.
My God.
But she didn't even know we were coming for the final walkthrough. That was the thing because the agent never told her. And we just showed up. She's like, why are you guys here? This is my house.
You're like, no, actually, we're about to move in tomorrow, so we're gonna need you to go. No.
Yeah. So we like let her chill out. And then we ended up like talking to her and she's like, I can't move in time. And we come to find out she has tax liens.
Oh,
She has like all this like debt and stuff that she
like in her own name that she basically then can't pay for or like whatever
she had enough to pay for it, but it didn't leave her with very much.
after selling the house.
Right after
Okay.
selling the house.
Okay.
And she was gonna move into like a mobile home park or something like that.
Yeah.
But didn't have anything approved, didn't even know one. Wasn't even an escrow on one to buy.
Where is her agent?
Oh, wow, that's a great question.
We will never know.
Yeah, I mean, this is all like clients were planning to move in. Move in.
I mean, it needed
Start
obviously
things.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Things. But like, so were you guys trying to like, look, we can work with you on this, but like she still was saying like she couldn't go.
So she calms down. She starts, we start talking through it, and she's basically just like, I don't know what to do.
John's like, I'll sell you a place. Come with me.
Well, luckily, like and this probably was over like a week span.
Okay.
By
which is
like
so
towards the
stressful.
end of this, her like friend who was an agent who she probably should have hired from the very beginning
Interesting.
showed up and started like talking and being a part of it. I'm pretty sure she got like a call and like kind of got like a pressure sales into like listing her house. That's like kind of what I'm
That's unfortunate.
gathering,
Yeah.
as this goes.
Yeah.
And
Gosh, how sad to just like leave her high and dry like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh.
So the friend ends up like kind of mediating this situation,
thank
and
God.
luckily is able to like talk to her like logically
Right.
and like also sternly, because it's like, hey lady,
That's
you're
okay.
moving.
I can cut that out.
And
Wait,
Wait, I
is
love
this-
her name.
Do you remember?
No.
That was the made up name, but Brian's episode Through the Cat Door, he called it. So remember? Was it the same lady? Oh my God.
Maybe.
Did she go to Point or where?
It was Point Loma. Yeah.
Point
No.
Loma or Ocean Beach? Anyway, okay.
No.
Sorry.
So where was I in this? Oh yeah, so mediator lady.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna find her a place to stay. Blah blah blah. Talk to my clients. They're like, we want to close escrow, because I'm like, at some point, like they could serve us demand to close escrow, and then like could try to cancel. So I was like, you guys, like effectively are in a position where like you kind of have to close if you want to keep this without any risk of losing it. But there's a lot of liability.
Oh,
And
100%.
yeah,
because
so-
also with the loan, like you can't just delay this forever.
Right.
Like you're locked in on a rate, like all these other
Right.
there's so many moving parts.
So they make the decision to close
Okay.
escrow with written agreements, however, with
Yeah.
the seller that there
She'll
will
get out.
be moving
Okay.
actions with agreements from this lady, that there will be moving actions.
Right.
And they move on to property with their mobile home.
Oh,
And
your clients.
My
do.
clients
Oh,
do.
okay.
After
I
we
was
close
like, she
escrow. No.
I thought you meant she like just
I picture she's like, well, I
in the
bought a mobile home
backyard.
and I just put it right
No,
here.
that's
Is this good? This
wouldn't
is good right
surprise
here,
me.
right?
Like with
I
the city like
know.
that. Yeah, that sounds about right.
she's like, my old agent told me it's fine.
He's nowhere to be found, but like he said, it was fine. So they then put their.
So they were like, all right.
like-
Part of the agreement was, okay, look, you're gonna move into one room of the house. You're gonna let us start demoing the rest of the house. We're gonna move our mobile home, our whatever,
So they
our
can,
fifth
like,
wheel
manage everything.
onto property, so
Right.
we one have a place to live because they're moving out of their apartment.
Well, yeah.
And so they moved that onto site. I think we didn't even hold money back in escrow because she needed all the money to pay her tax liens and stuff. So we didn't even hold money back in escrow
God,
for
this
her.
is scary.
So they move on site and start demoing and start obviously talking to her on a regular basis. Well,
Yeah, like
my clients
buddies.
were like CPA, like accountants
Yeah.
majors, or one of them was.
Yeah.
Ends up she has to dive into this lady's books and help her pay off credit so that she can get approved to get into this mobile home community that she wants to
So
buy
not only
a
did
house
they buy a
in.
house, but they bought a tenant.
More
No,
than.
like they bought like a stepmom or something. Like, yeah.
God.
So they help her get all of her finances in order, pay off certain debts, like taught her where her money was because she didn't even know what bank account she had all of her money in.
she didn't
and
have any family?
no.
And did
No, yes, she did. She did. She had sons that were like stealing stuff from the property, and she had workers that she let. She told them that they could
Like-
take eucalyptus. They were stealing, like literally chopping her eucalyptus trees down, stealing the eucalyptus and selling it at like flower shops and stuff like this. Yeah, they were stealing all of her avocado trees. They had like random trailers parked on the property. So like this is all unfolding, and we're like after close escrow, and they're like getting these things moved, and they're getting like hostile like workers saying that she owes them like money and like all this stuff. Yeah.
And then like your clients don't want all those trees chopped down.
No, I know. Yeah, and that was the crazy thing that we realized too. I just remembered part of this from when we wrote an offer and got into escrow. They weren't chopped down, and then a couple of them got chopped down in the middle
in
of
the
escrow.
middle, and you're like,
yeah,
wait, there was trees here, and there's
Yeah.
just like stumps.
yeah,
Dude.
yeah.
So how old was she? Like 70s, 80s?
At least. Yeah.
Okay. So she's
Her
older.
husband had
and-
passed away. Like she
Oh.
didn't have any. Like he apparently ran all that stuff.
Right. So she just
She had no idea. Like she
what
literally
to
didn't
do.
know what bank accounts her money was in. She didn't know what credit card she had.
surviving.
I have no idea. She was just used to spending money, and like it would get dealt with because her husband would deal with it. And I think it was probably 3 or 4 years that he had died, and she'd just been doing this and just
So she obviously had like
Had no
credit
idea.
card debt. Who knows if she was even paying her bills?
Well,
On time
she
monthly.
wasn't. Yeah, she had back with like with SDG&E. She had like all that stuff that she had to like get.
And
taken
your
care of.
clients are
Helping her through it.
taking care of it pretty much.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. The final sign off day was like maybe 2.5 or 3 months after they closed escrow that she finally left.
Wow.
And they literally like we had a booklet with all of her passwords, with all of like
Aw, you, like,
credit
saved her
cards and
life.
this, and like
They
gave it to
really did
her.
save her
Yeah,
life. Like they are the sweetest people.
I know.
Yeah.
That's really nice to take.
and they
back.
had the house half remodeled by that time. she
Except for the
no, literally, she
room
like
that she was in.
She's like, wait, I really like this now. Can I
Oh,
stay?
they're like, no, does she ever come back to see them?
so she did a
She's like,
few
Thanksgiving.
times.
Like, there's no way that she just like left and they never saw her again.
Yeah, they connected a few times. They kind of drew like a line in the sand. There was a winery across the street from their house, which now I'm probably giving up way too much information, but there's a winery across the street
Doubt
from
it.
their house.
And there's all kinds of wineries
That's true.
out
That's
there.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
And she goes there sometimes, and like they'll
old
like
watering hole.
no, they'll be like going down, and they'll be like oh, and they'll leave.
Here comes whatever her name is, like
Yeah.
walking down the dirt path. She's like waving from like, no way.
Yeah.
So they haven't seen her in a while.
So last I talked to him, it had been like at least 1.5 years. that they'd seen her.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Or
okay,
heard
good.
from her. So,
Hopefully she's doing okay.
yeah. So it was crazy. They had to help her get some of her animals to shelters because she had like too many to take to the.
Well,
like,
yeah,
all
they were
sorts of stuff.
probably
Yeah.
like, I'm sure it was a very unhealthy living environment.
Oh yeah.
Are they
Like-
loving the place now?
Yeah, they're loving it. They're living in it. I think there's only like a tiny bit left to remodel.
Oh,
I think the rat count was at like 45 or 50 dead rats by the time they were done with the whole thing. But they found
Inside
that
or-
they dug out of like closets and cabinets
Oh,
and
God.
under the house and in the garage and in the attic.
How many square feet was this house?
It's a big house. It was 4,000 square foot house.
Big
Yeah.
ass house for her to be living in too.
Yeah. Well, she had
that
like raised
crazy
kids there, and yeah.
So, oh God, that's
Yeah.
sad too. So her husband passed, and that was the house that they like had been in for years,
think
probably,
he
right?
Built it, I think, if I
Wow.
remember correctly. Yeah.
Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. Was it solid?
It was a nice enough
that's
house.
good.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, you never know what you're going to buy when you're buying real estate. You might buy a little old lady that you're going to be doing her taxes. So watch out.
And like she was all settled in her new place. I'm like really still concerned for her.
We need to find
To
out
my
where she
knowledge,
is.
yes.
John, you need to give us an update. We need an update. We need to know where this lady is.
I'll try and find you a follow up.
We'll just go to the winery.
Did you ever hear from her first agent again?
Oh yeah. What'd you do with him?
I mean, after the transaction, no.
Do you know who it
Basically
is?
not. Yes.
Can you tell me later?
Yes.
I love this. Yes. I probably won't know though, right?
Oh.
No. The plot thickens. I can't wait. Okay. You while we were sitting here,
Yes.
I don't even know what you said. You said something and he's like, "Oh my God, a light bulb went off." You thought of another story.
I did think of another story, and
Did
now
you
I've already
forget it?
forgot what story.
John!
Oh, walking in on something?
No, I did that one time.
Oh
that-
no, we were talking about our podcast guest that came on and he had to use the bathroom and there was a sleeping
Oh,
tenant.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What
Now I
happened to you?
remember.
Did
Now
this
I
happen to
remember.
you as well?
Kind of, sort of. So
Scary.
I was showing property again. It's always showing property. It never happens to your own listings, thankfully.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right about that because you don't really know what you're walking into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Control the
Like,
situation more.
yeah, or you think it's vacant and it's not, or they
Right.
say that they're going to be out and then
they're
they're
not,
not.
right.
So yeah, anyway, continue.
Yeah, this one was pictures looked like the house was vacant. Agent was like, "Yeah, go show, no big deal." Blah blah blah.
Is it one of those on the MLS where it's like vacant, go show?
No, it
lockbox?
wasn't like that. It
You
was
still
just
had
like,
to tell them.
yeah, and like I
Okay.
called and I talked to an agent. I texted with an agent, and it
Okay.
was like it was very clear. Like I was showing it at 11 o'clock,
Sure.
whatever time it was.
Okay.
And it's like, get there, no key in the Sentry lockbox, no other lockbox. I'm looking in the windows, everything's closed. I'm like, what the heck?
Somebody that
Texting
happens
the
a lot.
agent,
Sometimes
calling the
takes the key
agent,
on accident.
nothing. There's 2 agents on the list. I start calling the other agent, going like, hey, I drove all the way up here from San Diego, like 50 minutes. Like,
Oh wow.
it was in Oceanside.
Still though, from
Yeah, it was a
that's
mission.
annoying.
Yeah, with a client in the car. You know, like
Oh, God.
we were looking at like 2 other two houses. Not like we were coming up and like they were very specifically selected.
Right,
you know?
right.
And so called
But also,
second.
you have other appointments after this. This probably isn't the last
Right.
one. I assume
Yeah.
it's probably the first one, and then you can't
It's
get
always
in.
the first
It's
one.
always the first one. Yeah, yeah.
So the second agent is like, oh yeah, that house is vacant. It's my buddy's house. Like, I'll give you the code to the back door. Like, you're fine. Go in. And I'm like, okay. Now, we had, mind you, already knocked on the door, rang the doorbell, texted both agents.
Nobody's answering.
Nothing. There's a car in the driveway, but the agent was like, oh yeah, the other agents, he was going to go walk the neighborhood, before his open house this afternoon or whatever. And I was like, okay, that's fine.
All right. So all seems fine.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe he took the key thinking,
Oh,
it's
that
like
makes
whatever.
sense.
But he gave us the go to the
Right.
back door. So we're like, cool. And we
Right.
walk in and me and the client are both just like, this house is not empty. Like it didn't
But
it was
someone-
vacant, but it
someone
just
lived,
no.
or someone has. Oh God.
No one, not that somebody lived there. Like it just didn't feel like it was empty. Like it was empty, but it didn't feel like it was empty. If that makes
Did
sense.
you see things? Or
Like
you
there was like some
felt?
like a random shoe and like so I was like, what the heck? And so like I'm like, hello, it's like anybody here? Like several times, nothing. So I'm like, I guess no one's here. Like let's just walk through the house. And we're still like very timidly walking through the house. Get through the
Is there
first.
3 of you?
There's 2 of us. It's
Okay.
me and one other person.
Okay.
Walking through it, like looking in cabinets, doing the thing, make our way through the couple bedrooms, get into the primary bedroom, and like the door to the bathroom in the primary bedroom's closed, and the bed's kind of messed up, and I'm like, what the heck? Like,
And was it staged?
it was like staged, yeah,
But
like
poorly staged.
no, it was staged, like it was a
Okay.
staged house,
Okay.
but like it was very clear like nobody lived there.
Right,
Like it wasn't
right,
like
right.
there were like 2 dressers, it was like a half dresser, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
And it's just like weird. And like I go to open the door and the door in the bathroom's locked. Still nothing. I'm like, that's weird. The bathroom's locked. I knock. I'm like, hello. And finally someone is like blah, blah, blah. I'm in here. And I was like, okay. And like the client was like this is just weird. I don't
Let's
I don't
get
even care to see
out of
this
here.
house. Let's just go. So we go, and then I start getting rage texts from the other agent.
What?
Being like, from the first agent or second agent, I don't remember, whatever. The one that was like originally confirming it, not the like boss agent, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And was like,
Why?
I told you that you couldn't have the key right now. I was like, I have a showing at 11 o'clock. He's like, I told you to come back in 30 minutes. I was like, too bad. Because he did text me to come back in 30 minutes.
Is he taking a shit or something?
No, I don't. I think he was doing something else.
Oh,
I think there was maybe
girl?
2 people there.
No.
I think. I don't know. I mean, I don't never
Well,
know.
why is there
We'll
a
always
shoe
wonder. Yeah, like
getting
random
frisky.
shoes off.
Was
like
it a high heel?
no, it was men's shoes, but
Oh,
Too
well,
much.
or a man's shoe, I should say. Like you know,
you never know.
but like,
Fair shade.
and then just start getting these. I was like, block, like.
Yeah, what? And then to be all defensive.
Yeah,
it's
like, super
You're
defensive.
doing something wrong.
Yeah, super
100%.
defensive.
And
I was
also,
like,
was it him that was in? Did you
Yeah,
say his name?
it was clearly him in
you,
there.
You realized that he was the one
well,
that was there.
when 2 seconds after I leave the house, I start getting rage texts from him
Touche,
telling me to
touche.
like,
Yeah.
Did you say
I
anything
told
to
you
the
to come
lead
the F
agent?
back later, you know, stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I just screenshotted it, sent the text
love
message
it.
to the lead agent, and was like, we're not interested in the house.
And this is why. Thank you very much. Like,
We're
get your
good.
point.
What did they say?
I don't even remember. I think he was like, oh, like he was supposed to be walking, sorry, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I'm not getting involved.
Well, he's doing something weird in the bathroom, so just a heads up.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Don't let him forget his shoe in the living room, by the way.
Pick
Right?
those up on your way out, bro.
Yeah.
That's, dude, people,
It was weird. I was
this
like, all
business,
right.
this is never a dull moment. This is why we have this
Yeah.
podcast. Like, never a dull moment.
No.
Remember
know
how
what I
you
mean?
said, why do people do this? And I'm like, I feel like people get off on this. Like,
On the stories?
No, like being like,
you know, when they like come to open houses and they pretend they have all this money and you show them all these things
Yeah.
and then it's like, then they just disappear. You're like, what
Oh,
was the
yeah.
point of that?
yeah.
So I'm like, I feel like people just like
People like to
it.
pretend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that.
Oh, yeah.
They're very weird.
For sure.
And it's
For
all we
sure.
deal with. Sadly. Anyway.
It is.
Well, do you want to play a game? 'Cause
Sure.
that might incite some stories for you.
Yeah, let's
Or
do
do you
it.
have another one, you know?
Nothing like. I mean, I
Nothing
do have
crazy.
more, but I'd have to think about it a little bit.
Okay,
and
fair.
This might jog some memory of
might-
a couple small ones.
Might.
Yeah.
So this game is called Punch List because we hit you with 3 questions.
Okay.
You like that?
I have to remember, I have
So
to do a shout
clever.
out to my Uncle Guz because he just wanted me to. So
God,
I just remembered and I needed to say it.
That's adorable. Okay,
Love you, Uncle
hi.
Guz.
We love you.
Okay. What's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you in front of a client?
Other than keys not in the lockbox.
Yeah, keys not.
Have you never? I've never really had anything
Like, not
super embarrassing happen.
super-
Thank God.
No, I'm trying to think too.
Embarrassing
have.
that I can think of. Yeah, I don't.
That's right. I don't have like a whole
It would
list.
be this one.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, she like trips over her own feet and just like goes flying, and you're just like, what is wrong with? So, okay, total sidebar. Have we told the Christmas cookie story over here?
I don't know.
I don't think so. So when we had our office down here in the Shores for Sotheby's, it was just me, her, and our team lead, and it was Christmas time, and we had Caravan Baby, or why did we have all these Christmas cookies?
Yeah, maybe a caravan and
Okay.
somehow.
So she was like gonna take them somewhere and it was pouring down rain. She leaves, I leave. The next morning, I get a video of her walking because we used to park in the back alley and like come in through the back way of our office. And I get a video of the ground and it's a trail of Christmas cookies from when she had been running to her car.
but
And
it's like green and red, like all with the
all,
rain.
like, and there's just like a puddle of Christmas
Just
cookies. And I'm like,
soggy
oh my God.
Christmas
And then I think
cookies.
like the day that you did that, like you tripped or you dropped something and fell, and I was like, you are a fucking mess. Like, I don't know what to do with you right now. And so now anytime something bad happens, I'm like, oh, Christmas cookies. She'll be like, oh, like a couple weeks ago when she popped her husband's tire on his truck.
Okay.
Oh yeah, tire truck or car tire popping. Don't even get me started with
Has
that.
that happened to you?
It was like on the side, so it like completely deflated. Yeah.
So then
Oh,
she
yeah.
calls me a couple days ago and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm riding my bike to jujitsu because Matt won't let me drive his truck anymore. And I'm like, yeah, because you popped tires. Like, she was like, oh God, oh God, oh God. I'm like, okay, can you call me later when
I'm
you're not
not
going to
the
kill
best
yourself?
bike
Like, on a
rider.
bike. Can you imagine? Just like, and I'm like, okay, Christmas cookies, here we go. So I'm surprised nothing crazy has happened to you. With,
I'm sure I've just blocked it out of my memory.
anyway. I was
Yeah,
like,
I feel like I've just blocked it out. I mean, I've fallen a few times.
I luckily have not done that, but I feel like driving. Like
Yeah.
if someone's following you, I like cut someone off one time on accident and they like laid on the horn and got so nasty with me. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Like, I'm sorry. And then my client was like, that guy was such a dick. I'm like, I know, right? Like, I didn't even see him. Like, my bad. I also have major road rage. I drive like I'm on the East Coast and honk my horn a lot.
I don't honk my horn, but
It's there for communication, John.
you're right. You're so right.
Don't you agree? Don't you agree? Okay, what's the next one?
Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve?
With a client or with an agent?
Or
in
life.
life.
Or in
It
life.
could be anything.
Like no communication?
Yes.
Or like not following through if you tell me you're going to do something?
Yeah. I didn't do that.
Drives me nuts. No, you didn't.
He loves me.
We're besties.
We're besties. We really bonded during this transaction. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
Although I kept things from him, and then I sent a text. That's what I was going to go back to. I sent a text. What did I say? I said something like, "Okay, thank God," or "We're moving forward." And you're like, "When were you not?"
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was like, well, look, bro. It was looking kind of grim there. I haven't told you everything. I'll call you
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
Because I was
Yeah, he
trying
doesn't-
to like do things on the back end and keep all of the feeling. And I did a good job. Like
You did
I
a good
kept,
job.
I kept everybody.
There was a
you
lot
know,
going on there.
They listen to this podcast and I love them so much. So
Good.
yeah.
They're cool.
They're really cool. By the way, they're getting all the work done right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Good for
they're
them.
like everything. Dan's good.
Oh, yeah. He's stoked. He loves his new house. Yeah.
We love him. He
Yeah.
was so sweet.
He's super nice.
Your mom was like, okay, guys, because then the neighbor came over. Then everyone was wanting to talk, and your mom was like, and your dog. This is when you were in Santa Barbara. Your dogs are in the car, which adorable, by the way. What are their names again? Your dog.
Pippa, and then my mom's is
He has a golden doodle named Pippa. She's a golden.
My daughter's name.
Is it?
It is. It is.
Pippa or Peppa?
Pippa.
Pippa.
P-I-P-P-A.
Yep, that's
I
my
look
dog.
over, and Pippa is sitting in the front seat, just staring out
Oh,
the
yeah.
window.
When we're leaving.
And
Where
the
we're
nose
going.
is out the window, like, Grandma, let's go. And I was like, whose dog is that? She's like, that's John's. And I was like, she's adorable. Anyway. Yeah, no communication.
Yeah. Or just, like not following through. That
What's your biggest pet peeve in life?
like not following through.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
it
I don't like-
translates.
Like people that
Don't do what they say they're
don't
going to do.
say they're gonna
Yeah.
do drive me nuts. I don't
I know.
associate with them.
No, it's the same.
I just realized the other day what one of mine are. Flies.
Oh,
Like I lose my mind. Lose it.
there's like these weird, Max and I should have seen us last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever we recorded last. Did I tell you about that? So I have, my neighbor bought these like electric, like
Oh, I need that.
pickleball rackets that like zap bugs.
Oh, yeah.
So we're out there just like, so Max comes in and I'm like doing it and he's like, are you okay? I'm like literally hunting a fly that like came in the house. There's these weird flies right now that are just like flying in like circles. They're not
They're
normal
like little
flies.
gnats.
They drive
Yeah.
me insane and I'm constantly out there killing them. So if you want to borrow one of those rackets, go for it.
Absolutely.
No, I will hunt them down and kill them.
The East Coast. I have cousins on the East Coast, and you have those, and there's so many bugs. You just go like this, and it like cracks
like-
like 20 times. You're like,
Oh,
By the way, it's so satisfying.
It
like
is
I
very
keep, and everyone's like,
satisfying.
I can't ever get any, and I'm like, pop, 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 as I'm just like walking by. I'm like, there's
does it
stealth
collect
with
them
it.
though? Because I like hate picking.
no, they
them
just
up.
like die. And
They
fall.
die and they kind of fall. Like one I had, because you have to keep your finger on the trigger, and so I was like, oh, it stinks like burnt bug, and they're like, that's because it's stuck in there, and I was like, ugh, ugh, like shaking it out. But it's really fun to like hunt them. So
Yes.
anyway,
I have
okay.
I have a salt gun that I shoot the fish. The fish. The
Fish.
that I shoot the flies
Are
with.
you want to take fish too?
No.
No.
No,
I
you
mean,
can
that could
shoot
be
the
fun,
flies with a
too.
salt gun.
That could be
It gets messy though. You get salt all over your house.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no.
It's
that-
fun outside though.
outside we can
Yeah.
do, not in the house.
What about like the kids getting that?
Oh yeah, it's been away since my son.
Yeah.
Your wife is like, no.
Yeah, it's down in the garage.
Yeah,
He's always, Dad, what's that? I'm like, oh, nothing.
No, just
From the upper-
don't worry
One
about
day you'll
them.
be old
Yeah.
enough and we can play with it.
Exactly.
Okay, if you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be and why?
I'm super interested in this for you. So I don't know you this well
You
yet.
should have told me this ahead of time so I could think it up.
No.
I like my job. I like my life.
You do? I love that. We haven't had anyone say that. Everyone
Really?
else, no. Everyone else is, oh my God. It's
like, get me out of
These
this.
cords.
I'd probably just be a real estate investor developer. And
Love
like,
it.
That's ultimately like the end
You
goal.
also like grew
Yeah.
up in this
Yeah.
like industry. You know, oh, do you know who his aunt is?
Who is Entes? I don't know.
That's not British.
Yes.
I don't know where that came from. Do you know who his aunt is?
I don't know.
Jeannie Gleason.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Nice.
Oh,
yeah.
And then when I saw your mommy, I was like,
Your mommy?
I see the resemblance.
You're like, oh, it makes sense.
Are they
Yeah.
sisters?
They are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you, I mean, grew up obviously.
Mostly, yeah. I
in
mean,
this
my aunt's
industry.
been like, what, almost 40 years in the business? 35 years, something like that. So,
Well, she doesn't look a day over 40.
no, of course not.
So like, I don't know how that would be possible, but you know, I love her so much. She's
Yeah.
the best. All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for coming
Love it.
on.
Thank
I
you.
know.
Appreciate it.
Thank
This
you
was
for
fun.
being here. Okay. And I need to start saying this at the end of every episode.
Okay.
Please, 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 if you liked our podcast or this episode, please don't forget to rate, review, share with all your friends. And we love you so much.
And download. I feel like I always hear that one.
Yeah, please download it, guys, because we track by downloads. John, download it.
Okay. Everybody on my team will download it.
Yes. I know Cassandra does, so I love
Yeah.
her. Anyway, oh, we love her. Hi, Cassandra. I love you. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I
Thanks,
appreciate
yeah.
it. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.